We are here with Ron Gilbert, the founder of Cave Dog Entertainment. Total Annihilation, the best game ever of all time? Wow.
We were thrilled by that one.
How many people are working at Cave Dog now? I mean, I'm seeing all these titles.
There's probably just under 100 people there now.
So in 1996 you formed Cave Dog. What was the inspiration?
I really wanted to create a place where some of the best designers, programmers, and artists could come and really take their visions and make them real. That they could, if they had an idea and they wanted to do something great, this was the place to do it.
Battle Tactics, what exactly is it?
Battle Tactics is an expansion pack for Total Annihilation. It's 100 quick and easy missions. Total Annihilation is a big game, and sometimes it can suck you down for 4 or 5 hours. Or days. But maybe you just want to go in and play quickly. We created 100 missions that are just real quick in and out missions to play.
Been a real movement towards multiplayer contests and online play, and Total Annihilation has that built into it.
There's nothing more challenging than a real human being sitting at the other end. I mean, you could spend years writing computer AI and is not going to play like a person. There's a certain social interaction that goes on when people are playing each other, and I could look at things like Monopoly. Those are really just catalysts for people to get together. What they really care about is getting a bunch of people together to have fun. And I think the computer games, as you get the multiplayer stuff, you'll start to see some of that. It's an excuse for a bunch of friends to get together and have a lot of fun.
Hi, I'm here with Clayton.
Hi, the Tiger.
From Cave Dog. Tell us a little bit about this new title, Kingdoms.
Kingdoms is the next title in the Total Annihilation franchise. And what we're looking at is a fantasy-themed RTS game. Castles, knights, catapults, demons, zombies, all that kind of stuff.
So how does this game warrant getting the Total Annihilation name if it's a fantasy-based game?
Well, we're using a lot of the existing technology base from Total Annihilation. We want to put a little more meat on its bones, so that's where we thought a nice big theme with an epic story, 4 sides, would really just add to the game experience quite a bit.
2 teams to 4 teams.
Yeah, there's 4 sides, 2 basically good sides, 2 basically evil sides. Right. A lot of intrigue, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of stuff like that in the story.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, the kind of stuff you want, very, kind of dramatic stuff that, you kind of want in a good story.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Hey!
Thanks a lot.
Music!
3D effects cards and graphics accelerators. What do you think of all of this technology that's coming out there?
Well, any hardware that can help, makes our job easier, because people want a very rich graphic experience. I mean, they're used to movies, they're used to television, they're used to action and speed and all this. And the more hardware we have to help us out to give the people what they want, the better.
Hey, we're at Origin Systems here in Austin, Texas. I'm standing with Andy Hollis, who is one of the co-founders of the Jane's Combat Simulations. Great to meet you, Andy.
Likewise.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys got Jane's off the ground, so to speak.
Everybody wants to be sort of the kind of Tom Cruise, Top Gun thing, and being able to put them in that situation, doing the same kinds of decision-making that a real pilot would have in the face of disaster or whatever. Just a really compelling situation and a natural for a computer game.
I'm in the Jane's booth here with Colonel Bud Anderson, who is the consultant on Fighter Legends Europe 1944. How are you, Colonel?
Hey, I'm doing good today.
So what do you think of these computer simulations? Are you amazed by what these guys are able to do with computers?
It's absolutely fantastic. And, of course, the big change is the graphics. They're remarkable.
Is it difficult to balance the simulation aspects of the game and the action gameplay elements of the game?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is. There's a lot of things about flying that are no fun. People like in Jet Combat 2, hours of boredom with
moments of terror.
Are the missions that are in the game, were you in any of those missions in real life?
There'll be escort missions in there and ground support missions and things like that. And is it going to be a specific mission? I can't tell you that right now.
Why did you guys choose the F-15 as the plane to cover instead of the F-22?
Right. Well, the F-22 is not yet in production. We're always looking for the ultimate in realism, and in order to do that, you have to have access to the operator manuals. You have to have access to the real aircraft. You like to have a combat history to see how the aircraft really performs, not just how it might perform.
I understand you're a friend of Chuck Yeager.
Chuck and I go back to the spring of 1943 when I was selected as a leader to be a member of a new fighter group that was training to train as a unit and go overseas and fly combat. Chuck came in as one of our first pilots to join us so that we would train. So I was about 6 months ahead of him out of flying school.
Wow.
And we were the experts.
How many missions are in this game, and where do you go while you're cruising around up there?
This game has hundreds of missions, and they're set in a couple of main areas, mostly in the Middle East. We simulate over 3 million square miles of the Middle East terrain. We have a campaign that's set in Iran. It is set in the year 2002. It's a hypothetical campaign. We also let you relive the whole Desert Storm experience, from the early days of Desert Shield, the build-up, through into the first night, and all the way through to the ground war. The terrain data set we use is all built off of real data. All the cities in the right places, the roads are in the right places. We even put the buildings in the right places based off of tourist maps and things we got of like Baghdad. So the presidential palace is right there, and you can go in there and blow it up if you want.
Who's the best pilot you ever saw?
Well, Chuck Yeager would certainly be right up there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I'm sure he'd say the same thing about you.
Yeah.
Is this all strict realism, or is there any sort of goofy stuff in the game as well?
You know, mostly it's realistic, but there's a few things we like to throw in there kind of lighthearted. So, for example, the camels, there's a lot of camels out there in the desert areas, and if you just happen to strafe one, they sort of seem to be filled with gasoline, and then they blow up in huge explosions and stuff like that.
They might be carrying gasoline.
Yeah, that's it. They're carrying gasoline.
That's right.
That's
okay.
it. All right.
Thanks, Andy.
You bet.
Great to meet you.
Likewise. Thanks.
Andy.
You may remember Capcom for such great hits as Street Fighter and Mega Man. Well, now they're back with Marvel vs. Capcom. This week we've got a great tip for you. You know Mega Man, but you may not know his sister, Roll. To control Roll, highlight Zangief at the character selection screen. Push left, left, down, down, right, right, down, down, left, left, up, right, right, right. The little blonde will be controllable, and you'll be good to go. Have fun.
Hey, it's time for the second 3 move of the week. This week we've got a multi-hit combo from Dr. Voskonovich. You ready? It's forward plus left punch. Right kick, left kick, left kick, left kick. Right punch, left punch. You gotta do it all much faster than that, of course.
Today on the Simpatico Question of the Week, Steve Kahn from Victoria, British Columbia asks, what's going to keep all these 3D action adventure games from looking the same?
The experience of interacting with the other characters in the game is what's going to make the next wave of 3D games exciting. It's not enough anymore to have pretty scenery and cool-looking characters. They're going to have personality, and they're going to have to be smart, and you can get away with running through levels and taking one shot and taking out everything, or just avoiding enemies. They're going to have to engage you. One of the things we've focused on is we've set programmers down and said, you guys are solely in charge of making these enemies fun, making them difficult, making them smart, making them behave like you would see an enemy behave in the real world, giving life to these characters so they're not just cannon fodder for the player.
To send us your questions, stop by the EP website at www.elecplay.com.